football, NFL week 2. One of my things I like to do is go through this schedule and the college football schedule because you can kind of build a weekend. If you got a good early Saturday game and then the NFL slate kind of sucks, but there's a good night game, okay, Saturday afternoon, I'm going to watch this, and then I'll do whatever else I need to do in the weekend, and then Sunday night, bang biscuit, I'm back at it. Maybe you can plan an extra round of golf or something. Go to, what are those like little fairs that girls like to go to? I guess.
Markets?
Yeah, like markets. Go to a market. I shouldn't label them as female. My Jessica enjoys a good market. I'm not the biggest market.
I've only gone there with one kind of person.
Holy smokes, BBD. How about Thursday night?
Hey.
Chargers Chiefs. Right off the rip. Herbert, Mahomes.
Not a bad appetizer.
I think with Josh Allen, you probably have the top 3 to 4 quarterbacks. People like that Rodgers guy. Rodgers! Good commercials.
Still good.
Chargers, Chiefs. In Arrowhead, the Chiefs showed out week 1 against the Cardinals. The Chargers won against in Arrowhead, I'm still expecting the Chiefs. They might be on a warpath this year. Nobody talking about them. You're not going to be as good as Tyreek Hill. What they just showed, I don't know if you want to buy Chiefs stock, but they're going to roll. And also don't be surprised if my guy Herbert, I love him. This should be, I'm not even going to play the NFL. This should be a blowout, so watch it be a 18 to 17 game. These guys are like too good. These guys are too good, and where football's at, we might be getting one of those Mexico City like 51 to 49 games. That's awesome. So Thursday night, no Yankees game, right?
Yanks are off.
Holy smokes, buckle up for that one. So that leads us to Sunday, where we have the Chris Rose, CJ Uzama Bowl. New allies, new enemies, new episode of the Chris Rose football show is out with CJ. They placed a gentleman's dinner bet on it. Not sure Goodell's rules on that. Jets at Cleveland. Go listen to the show. It's always funny when you're on a team, you do have to say certain things. Coach Saleh came out and was like, he said we're keeping receipts on everyone that's talking shit about us, which that's not coach stuff. CJ was like, I love it. I mean, our coach is kind of talking junk. If you're going to do that and you're going to be in New York, you better start running in some wins. Flacco throwing the ball 60 times. Don't think that's the formula. So interested to see if the Jets can drum up any sort of offense against a really good Cleveland defense. Still have Myles Garrett. That's going to be interesting in the Chris Roll, CJ Uzama Bowl. And if Cleveland can get to 2-0, you start eyeing that date until Watson comes back, and then you have a real Cleveland Brown conversation. So we'll see. Washington at Detroit. If you're red zoning, there's going to be some highlights. There's going to be some lowlights. You got Wentz and Goff, Dan Campbell. I guarantee you that game is chaos. Just pure chaos. And it's probably going to be a fantasy one. Bet the over. How about that? We might have pick sixes both ways. Harry Carey meets that golf guy. Tampa Bay at New Orleans. New Orleans has been a thorn in Tampa's side for a little while now. Tampa Bay rolled over the Cowboys, but they looked like a joke. New Orleans had the nice comeback win in week 1. Division rivals. I know Tampa and New Orleans, that doesn't get juices flowing as like, I'm trying to think what would be a better comp. Like if the Bears were good and you heard there was a Bears-Packers game, that kind of gets the juices flowing naturally. Even
it's a known rivalry.
Yeah.
Like a rivalry draft.
Like those two teams are rivals. Especially recent years, the Drew Brees years into Tom Brady now. And even with
is on the Saints now,
and even without Drew Brees, they've done really well against Tampa. I think they swept them last year. So, that I don't know what to do with that yet, because Tampa Bay, I don't think they got a true test last week. You always assume the BBD rule. You don't bet against Tom Brady. It seems to make sense.
Just trust it.
Just seems to work. One of those teams will be 2-0. One of those teams will be asking questions. Tom Brady and Jameis, my God. Fantastic. Taysom Hill, a lot of action. Carolina at the New York Football Giants. Giants with a chance to go 2-0. They're going to be feeling good in the Meadowlands. Dayball's got to be feeling good. The players have to be feeling better than they ever have. Saquon is a problem. The Giants are 1-0 for the first time since 2016. Shep had a big game. Will Galladay get involved? I don't know. I'm not going to bank on that. Can Kadarius Toney get on the field more? I know the Talking Giants guys are freaking out.
Yeah. First time they're covering an above 500 team.
Yeah. And Carolina Panthers, they lost at the buzzer to Cleveland in the Baker Bowl. Coming up to MetLife. Man, football can go a lot of different ways, right? Like I keep, that Tampa Bay Cowboys game last week, that'll happen. Chaos can happen in the NFL. I'll tell you what, if the Giants can somehow sneak out like a dominant win, like a 20-3, couple touchdowns, 2 field goals, and they can lock up the Panthers, there's going to be a Giants pandemonium going on. On the other side, if you lose at home to Baker and the Panthers, who are going to be full tilt, they don't want to go 0-2. That basically ends your season. I'm excited. That's like that might be a watchable football game. New England goes to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh won the crazy game last week. Anything on your Giants, BBD?
Very excited.
Yeah.
There's like they have 4-0 is on the table. It could easily get to like a 4-2 start to the year. Like that at this point is very possible.
Right.
If my immediate recall of the upcoming schedule holds up. So I'm excited to see it.
New England heads to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh won that crazy game against the Bengals. New England looked bad against the Dolphins, and they head on the road to Pittsburgh. In a surprising, 2 teams that have been really good for the last 20 years, that might be unwatchable. That might be ugly. With where Pittsburgh's offense is at, where the Patriots' offense is at, losing Watt, New England has like no star players at any level. Like, ask yourself this. Like, who's the best player on the Patriots? Does anyone come to mind?
I'm trying to think if there's someone on defense, but kind of no.
New England.
They used to be like the formula.
Right.
When
like,
they had Tom Brady.
The game almost used to be like who was coming up to get paid for the Patriots. And whether it was
hilarious.
Yeah, Chandler Jones, they've had McCourties, they've had, who's the linebacker they traded to the Browns as like punishment for asking for his contract. That was a funny one. I'm blanking right now.
Collins,
yeah. He ended up putting Collins III on his jersey. Go look at the Patriots depth chart and ask yourself who's their best player, and then ask you if that
Jamie Collins.
Ask yourself if that best player can help win you a game. Their skill positions are thin. Their quarterback is Mac Jones. We don't know what to do. There's not even Trent Brown, the left tackle. I don't know, man. Like, a lot of people are thinking this Patriots team is really outgunned. Now, every time you've thought that about a Patriots team, they end up winning a lot of football games because they have Bill Belichick.
Devin McCourty's still there.
He's still there.
The one, he's 35.
Yeah. Like, there's...
Jabril Peppers is there. Didn't even notice.
Yeah, right? I don't know. There's a lot of talk around the Patriots not being a Patriots team that we're going to remember. Like, more so that we're going to be like, oh, there's 22 Patriots. Yuck.
Straight up, it might be Nick Folk.
Yeah. Stud. Been around for a while. Colts at Jacksonville. Remember that game to end last season? The Colts losing their playoffs basically on Carson Wentz, who is now gone. Trevor Lawrence and the boys, had a good chance to win last week. They couldn't get it done. They return home against the Colts. That's going to be fun. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some Colts players playing with some serious vim and vigor. It might be a really good test for Jacksonville. You're at home. If you want to be a respected football team, if you're at home and you have some of the talent they have, you got to at least hold up. Don't get run out of the building by Jonathan Taylor. Like, don't give up a 200-yard rushing day and not have any fight. I don't know if you're the Jaguars. You could still very easily do that. Trevor Lawrence, as you guys know, took him in a couple fantasy leagues. Decent week last week. Give me that. Be a little better. Or I guess what you would also circle to see if Jacksonville can be anything this year, if they have a 4-minute or 2-minute drill, that's where you really need to see Trevor Lawrence become an NFL quarterback. And he didn't show me that at the end of last week's game. Miami, Baltimore, the final 1:00 game. So we've got a pretty good 1:00 slate. I guess it's still earlier in the year, so you don't have the dead teams yet, or at least that we know of. Baltimore at home against Miami. A lot of Lamar. Lamar is still very sexy this season. Could he be this year's Aaron Judge? He's not going to break the home run record, I don't think. Miami, also a sexy team. We just talked about the Patriots being dead. Can they compete with the Bills? Can they be a wild card team? Daniel, the new coach there, Tua season. I would bet Baltimore to roll. I'm not a Miami guy. I'm not a Tua guy. And like we just talked about with the Patriots, like what wins are we going to look at from last week that we look at in 8 weeks and we're like, oh, that was nothing. Like, say this Patriots team is a dud. Like, we just looked at Miami winning at home. I think it was 23-7 or 20-7. Right now we look at that as like, oh, Miami, okay. Are we going to look at that in 8 weeks and be like, the Patriots are a dud? Like, they only beat them 20-7? Like, the tone can change on that game. I don't think it's going to be that bad for New England, but, and Baltimore beat the Jets on the road kind of handily. Again, not an ugly blowout. I'm assuming the line in that game is probably a -5.5 or something. I might be on the Ravens this week. We will see. So that's your early slate. If you're red zoning, you're going to be in your own personal heaven. If you're looking to watch a game, I'd say Tampa, New Orleans. I mean, you got Tom.
It feels like the game of the hour.
Jameis. It's also the second most expensive ticket because I have the ticket prices up. Pittsburgh, they still sell. Steelers country. Let's ride. The 4 p.m. slate, Atlanta at the Rams. Rams are going to be looking for a redemption game after kind of getting embarrassed at home. They also, they get extra days, right? They played the Thursday game, so they get extra prep time. NFL teams talk about how important that is, especially probably early in the year. I guess you could spin either way because the extra health later in the year if you get extra rest. I think LA, they got beat up by the Bills. I think they can use that as motivation. I think McVay will use that. Atlanta, Mariota, they had a fun first week. They snuck up on the Saints, and then they got caught by the end of it. Rams, I could see Rams being big. That shouldn't be a game. Prove me wrong, NFL. San Francisco hosts Seattle. San Francisco looking to bounce back in a big way after they got embarrassed at the party by the Bears. Seattle, they did not let Russ cook. Big win at home. If you've got two teams on bigger emotional swings than this one, I don't know. And football's an emotional swing sport. I still think the San Francisco Niners are really good. I'm not going to let a rainy Bears game influence that decision. Where Seattle, Geno cooked. For everyone that wrote him off, he didn't write back. Is that what he said?
Something like that.
For those that wrote me off, I didn't write back. people were treating that like it was really cool. I don't think it makes sense. You wrote me off.
They wrote me off, but I didn't write back, though. That's the problem. I didn't write back. Let's go.
Like, I think, wouldn't it be like I did write back?
Or like, this is me writing you back.
Yeah. I think that would be the cool phrase. So, all right. Gino, I don't know. It just seems like the Seattle, they just beat Russ. That was, in a way, that was their Super Bowl. The place was going nuts. Russell Wilson wanted to leave, and they beat him, and they did it. And then you're going on the road, San Francisco, a team that just got embarrassed by the Bears in a rainy game where by the end the cameras couldn't even show the field. It was that rainy. That feels like a momentum game. Could see the Niners winning that big boy style. Dallas and Cincy. Ooh. Cincy in Dallas. I mean, does that not reek of 0-2 Dallas Cowboys? Interested to see what Cincy's got. Burrow got killed again. That needs to stop. Burrow was out for most of the preseason, and they didn't play any of their guys in the preseason, and that team got better as that game seemed to go on. Cincy on the road. We'll see if any of the Cowboys' backups have anything. Don't think they do.
Coming off at least half embarrassing loss.
Embarrassing, and you lost your quarterback. Yikes. Houston goes to Denver. My Broncos embarrassed themselves at Seattle. They should have won that game. They keep saying that in the press, which isn't always the best look because you didn't win it. They're hosting Houston, they tied the Colts last week, if you'll remember, proudly. Denver's so talented that this game should not be close, and I think it'll be close. Well, if I think it'll be close, I don't currently believe in Nathaniel Hackett after what they did. Hopefully they used last week as a learning lesson. They were undisciplined. The play calling was horrendous. I guess that would be my spin zone. You're going from the road to home. One of the better home fields, by the way. Altitude, rowdy crowd. And if you're a coach that can learn from your mistakes, which I hope Coach Nathaniel Hackett can be, they should be better this week. Just get a win. Although Houston can be pesky. If Davis Mills wasn't named Davis Mills, would you like him? I think you kind of would. It's bald. Yeah. I don't think that helps.
Just in a weird spot. I mean, good for him. I think he's proven himself. Texans are probably going to draft a quarterback this year and move on from him, but he should get an opportunity from somebody.
I mean,
don't know how his contract situation, whatever it is, plays out, but he's played well enough and shown enough on an NFL level at the rate he's going, we'll get an opportunity.
You know, at NFL stats, QBs can kind of easily cook the books a little bit with completion percentage now. But for like a rookie last year, he had a fine season, and he 2 touchdowns, 0 picks last week. A Colts team that was supposed to embarrass them did not. A little more nervous than I should be about my Broncos, I guess. Davis Mills.
Just important for him to get a dub.
I think if Davis Mills was like hot, I'm not saying he's ugly. He's bald at a young age. If Davis Mills was hot, I think people would like love Davis Mills. If he looked like Justin Herbert.
If he's on like any sexier of a team.
Yeah,
too.
The Texans are also in a bad place.
They're kind of one, just not a franchise that has done a lot of winning too, yeah. And they're just in like a weird spot.
Arizona is at Las Vegas. I would sell Arizona stock at the same. I like Las Vegas. They showed that they can use Devontae. Waller had a good game. I think they just were on the road and against the team they beat to knock out of the playoffs last year. I think on your motivation scale, you lost them there. I like Vegas in that game. That could be a super fun football game if both of those offenses do start clicking. Kyler getting the boys up and down with Vegas's new offensive options. That is a good watch and probably the highlight of your 4 p.m. game. So not a crazy slate. You'd have to kind of, You have to be a football fan to buckle in for Raiders, Cardinals. And then your night game is Green Bay hosting Chicago. So I'll tell you what, Sunday slate, not overall impressive. We're still week 2 that any form of NFL football. I think we're getting jazzed up for it.
This was week 10. We're disappointed in what the
you just kind of, you do like a, and I think part of the reason is, A, Chiefs-Chargers Thursday night. Bang biscuit, as Coach Ballgame would say. Green Bay, they crazy bounced back last year after a horrible week 1. And again, a lot of people like the Vikings. Maybe the Vikings are good. It was in Minnesota. A Bears team that won, can they get off to 2-0 and beat Aaron Rodgers? You know, kind of their boogeyman. I just wouldn't bet it. I wouldn't bet it.
It's a reason to watch.
Seems like when that Rodgers guy kicks into gear, he goes, and the Bears are a team he loves embarrassing. And by the way, Rodgers is on this huge barstool kick that I think he'd love to. I think he will be thinking about Big Cat in this game. I think they will try to give them the business. The other reason this slate isn't wild and crazy, 2 Monday games. So
I'm excited for both of them.
We'll talk about it on next Monday's Wake and Jake, but Tennessee at Buffalo, Minnesota at Philly. Minnesota, Philly, those are like the two, those are a lot of people's sexy picks this year.
They're like the same tier.
I think Minnesota's got a chance to be good. I think the Philly can win a lot of games. Okay, so I
think most people really believe in one of them.
So that'll be like the overreaction bowl. That's 8:30. Ooh, so these games overlap a little bit. Interesting. Yeah. And then Tennessee at Buffalo. We'll see if Tennessee can give them a scare. Buffalo looks so good. Back. Returning to Buffalo, they are going to be hype. They're going to be hype. So that's your NFL schedule. Thursday night, clear it up. Get ready. Sunday, obviously your team. There's not big appeal matchups. Tampa, New Orleans at 1, if you think that'll do it for you, or Arizona, Vegas is the 4 p.m. So, yeah.
I think the 4 o'clock slate's a good pop on Red Zone and let them take you on the journey.
Yeah, you hope so.
If you don't got anything else to do.
You hope so. Let me see if college has anything for you on Saturday. Conference schedule, I'm over that. Just looking for the top 25. Let me see. Michigan, UConn. Jesus. UConn's going to the big house. Oh, no. That's at noon. Don't watch that. Georgia goes to South Carolina. South Carolina, you never know. Sometimes they pull it out of their butt. Sometimes they don't. Georgia's number 1. Okay. BYU, Oregon at 3:30. That's fun. I think you can expect some points in that one, although BYU Baylor was not. SCO Ducks, that's what I'll say. Penn State at Auburn, that's fun. 2 teams that don't link up a lot. Penn State is heading to Auburn. That should be a fun one. That is also at 3:30. So we've got 3:30 options that are accumulating. I like that. So maybe get your day started early, figure some stuff out. Mississippi State at LSU at 6. Neither team is ranked, but I don't know. That's SEC football. Anything else? Michigan State at Washington is your late night game. I don't know if that's going to do anything for you.
Miami and A&M are later.
Miami and A&M. A&M laid an egg. So it's either bounce back or give up on your season. If you know A&M, you'll know better than me. And that's kind of it. So that's the Niner. You can make something work with that. I kind of like that 3:30. Break up your Saturday a little bit. Have a productive morning. 3:30. Check out BYU, Oregon. Check out Penn State at Auburn. And I think that'll get you where you need to go. Even a little Colorado at Minnesota. Oh, wow. What a matchup. What a matchup. All right. I have a wedding on Friday, a family party. So I don't know how deep I'll be in to those Saturday games. Last episode we did, the Yankees are back and so is the NFL. We're at 694 subs. Let's get to 7K, people. If you're listening, please sub. And bakers, I ask you guys to bake the algorithm, hit the like button, share with a friend, watch. How about that? Let's see. CJ Cable, loved the summary of the weekend's NFL action. I had fallen out of football and deeper into baseball over the last 2 to 3 years, in no small part due to John Boy Media, getting me back into baseball more and more. Turned on the NFL games for the first time in at least a year and enjoyed watching this weekend, partly due to re-exposure from Wake and Jake and Rose, partly out of in how the new direction for my Vikes is going. Look at that. Sorry for the Broncos loss, though. Thanks, CJ. That was a beautiful message. What else do we got? Brian Feingold asks, which AL wildcard team do you think will benefit more from having their home stadium atmosphere as the 4 seed, Toronto or Seattle? I currently lean Seattle just because of the 2 decades. Toronto Canadians are nutty. Canadians are nuts. Everyone remembers that first Toronto wildcard game that was like one of the best sports environments you'd ever seen. Like if we did a best sport environment you've ever seen draft, which maybe we should do at some point, bring back a draft. Like that Toronto, Jose Bautista, 2015, I think.
15, 16.
I mean, that was bonkers.
That era of Blue Jays going to Toronto.
What might be your trick is if your team's heading to Toronto and you got someone that's not vaxxed, there's a home field advantage. I think I saw a Mariners fan comment that Robbie Ray's not vaxxed, so wouldn't that be a good storyline for baseball? Currently lean Seattle unless Toronto gets vax points.
Yeah, depends how it shakes out.
Yeah. So, hey. Thank you guys for baking the algorithm. You guys are the best.